Hey everybody, welcome to another live edition of the Sewing Report. It is July 16th and it's 3 p.m. Eastern Time and it's time for another discussion here. And as suggested by Champagne Twist last week, we are focusing on indie sewing pattern companies. I'm actually wearing a shirt that I got from an indie, that I made from a pattern. This is the Linden sweatshirt by GRAINLINE Studio. It's actually one of my favorite patterns. I've made it like 5 or 6 times. It is a great pattern. It's very easy and you can make it with knits. So you can make a lot of like comfortable loungewear, which is pretty much what I live in when I'm at home most of the time. So anyways, welcome, and I'm just gonna log in to be able to check all the comments and whatnot. And hope everyone's having a good Sunday so far. I am having a good end of my vacation. So how are you guys doing? Let me know where you are watching from. Sorry, I'm just trying to again, make myself not look quite like a ghost. I don't know if it's working, but yeah, so there's that. All right, actually, I think that's better. Okay. And once again, I'm broadcasting from my bedroom. Hi, Stephanie, and hello, Champagne Twist. And in case you haven't noticed, right here, James replaced the trim on our bedroom door. Woo! So I don't look like I live in a construction zone upstairs anymore. And he's actually downstairs working on some stuff right now. So you may hear some construction noise, and I apologize for starting late. We had a bit of an incident with my cat. She was a bit of a bad girl. So we just had to chase her back downstairs because she's not allowed up here anymore. So welcome everybody, and yeah, I've been trying to do as much sewing as I can, although I've been running into some struggles. Sewing can be frustrating at times, and this week I've definitely had my share of frustrating moments. That's for sure. So anyways, let's start chatting. Hey Marie, and hello everyone watching. And so here's the deal. So last week Champagne Twist suggested we talk about indie sewing pattern companies. So that's what we're gonna do. And if you have a suggestion as well for next week or a future show, let me know in the comments, and I'm up for anything, guys. We could talk about whatever you want. I don't really, I'm just here. I'm here to facilitate. So if there's a topic that you think is important, like, selling things or just anything that you think would be pertinent for other seamstresses and sewists out there, let me know and we can do it. Obviously, as long as it's appropriate for this channel and has to do with sewing, we can definitely do that. So we've got Champagne Twist, Stephanie, Annie, and Marie. Hello, ladies. And so in the description box, I've listed several indie pattern companies, the ones that I'm aware about. Some of them I have used, some of them I have not. But there are so many. Hello, Jennifer C. Finally, I caught you live. Yes, you have. And yes, I apologize for starting late. My cat was. She's kind of in her own little world, so she does what she wants, and sometimes that's not always a good thing. But I came upstairs right as I was getting ready to do this, and I saw her in the guest bathroom. She is not allowed upstairs due to some previous things she's done with her track record, so we just had to chase her back down. But she's downstairs now. Hey Debbie, hello. How new a sewer are you? I've been sewing for about 4 years, and I've been doing clothing for about 2. I started out doing more quilting type projects, and I still do love to quilt. In fact, I'm working on a quilting project right now, and I'm not gonna lie, it's been really frustrating. I did not realize that quilting with batik fabric apparently is more difficult because the weave of the cloth is tighter and more dense because it goes through this wax dyeing process. So I've been trying to free motion quilt on my Janome, and every few inches I keep getting thread breakage. So I ordered some supplies that are supposed to help me with that. So we'll see if it works or not. But yeah, I've been on vacation for the past week and a half, and I've been trying to get as many projects as I can done. I've shot a lot of videos, and I've got a lot of ideas for future videos, and I tried to do some sewing. So last night I cut out a new pattern. I cut out McCall's M7601, which is a really cute feminine sleeveless top with some frills. I'm not doing the frilly off the shoulder cold shoulder version. I'm going to do the version with the bow in the front. and because that's all I had the fabric for, so we're going to see if that turns out. But anyways, let's get to, oh, and also, there's one thing I wanted to ask you guys about while we're here too. So I've seen a lot of Facebook posts and things on social media that apparently Craftsy, I know we've talked about Craftsy before, just with MDC buying it. Apparently Craftsy is going to this subscription model. So in the past, they've had an a la carte model where you buy each class separately. Sometimes those classes can be kind of expensive, $40, $50, $60. They do have frequent sales, but they can, that adds up. I've probably spent $200 to $300 in Craftsy classes over my life. And apparently they're going to a subscription model like Creative Bug. How that will pan out, I don't really know. I do, from what I understand, the people who've contacted Craftsy were told that they won't lose access to the classes they already have, which is good, but I have heard, you know, again, everything seems to be going to this monthly subscription model, you know, like Netflix or, you know, Amazon Prime or like sort of like a cable bill. So I think this is an interesting direction. And Debbie, what pattern companies can you recommend for plus size girls? You know, that is a good question. You know, I have heard, actually the funny thing is I've heard some people talking about this recently on a Facebook group. Let me try to log in. But if anyone has any suggestions for Debbie, Debbie, I have a different body type than you, but if anyone has any suggestions for Debbie, feel free to chime in. But in the description box, I've listed a lot of the indie pattern companies that I've heard of. Some of them I've tried, some of them I have not personally tried. And there's also a few websites like INDIESEW and then UPCRAFT Club where they feature multiple indie pattern designers all on one website, and they offer PDF downloads. So those are great resources as well. But I've heard, and don't quote me on this, I thought I heard that the Colette Patterns offer a lot of sizes. Because I saw, I have a friend named, her name is Natural Dane, that's her channel, Natural Dane. And she did a review on the Colette Patterns free sorbetto tank. And she is a plus size seamstress. And she had a really good review of that pattern. Let me actually find it. Natural Dane sorbetto. And I'll link it because I thought Natural Dane might have some good, I think she might have some good suggestions for that. So let me try to find her. I know the SEWAHOLIC patterns I've heard are more for pear-shaped women. I do have one of their patterns, although to be honest with you, I have not personally sewn it. So I might not be the best one to ask, but let me find her channel real quick. Hold on a second. But yeah, I thought she did a really good review of that patterns. I'm going to try to find it real quick. YouTube, why can't I find your channel? Here we go. So I'm actually going to link Natural Dane's channel, and I think she's had some really good reviews of patterns. So definitely check her out because I think she is a good one to follow. All right, here we go. All right, and I'm actually going to comment right here. And Natural Dane often joins us for these live chats or comments. So Debbie, I just linked her channel, and I would definitely check her out. She's a really, really nice gal, and she makes some really cool things. So you might enjoy seeing what sewing patterns she's picked up. Let's see here. Okay, and yes, Colette Patterns. And that's what I've heard. I've heard Colette Patterns are definitely a very good recommendation. All right, Champagne Twists. Colette Patterns seem to suit slimmer builds. They have good patterns, but always make a toile, especially if you're plus size. We've got Suya here. Colette Patterns are very large sized. FYI, I tried Violet recently, and I'm having murder on the fit issues. Violet is known for fit issues, though. That does sound like a bit of a hassle there, but hopefully it's not too bad, right? But I mean, the patterns that Colette does, and I have linked Colette Patterns below. The patterns do look really cool. I just personally, for some reason, just haven't tried them yet. I do kind of want to try the free pattern, the sorbetto, just to see how it is. I've not really heard of the Violet though, so apparently it has a lot of fit issues. That does not sound like a good time. Let me check that out. Got Phoebe. I mean, the dresses are really cute. They're very cute here. And the sorbetto I like because it's got like this little pleat on the front. I think that looks pretty cool. So, I don't know. Okay, violet. Okay, it's like a collared shirt. Okay, that's cute. But yeah, and I like their, let's see what their size ranges are. They go from size 0 to 18, so that's cool. And I think there's another one that I think goes up to size 22. I want to say, is it GRAINLINE Studio? Don't quote me on that, guys. But I do want to talk about, so let me know in the comments. Here's what I want to know. What is your favorite indie pattern company? Tell me why. And also kind of, if you want to share your thoughts on the good and the bad of indie pattern companies, that's kind of what I'm looking to hear from you guys. What do you think is good and bad about them compared to the big four like McCall's, Butterick, Vogue, and Simplicity? I think, in my opinion, so the good thing with indie pattern companies, I think, is you get a lot more instruction. The instruction booklets tend to be a lot more detailed and aimed to people who are unfamiliar with the techniques. One of my first patterns was GRAINLINE Studio, and I'm very glad that that was one of my first makes, because the instructions there are very good, and also the blog had a lot of great information and sew-alongs, which is what I'm looking for, and that's something that I think beginner seamstresses really need when they're starting out. I think the bad thing for me is that, personally, I'm not a huge fan of PDFs, just because I find it to be kind of a really big hassle to print out all those pieces of paper, tape them together, or glue. I actually use Elmer's washable school glue. I don't use tape, but I find that to be a little bit cumbersome. So if there's a way, I don't know, I personally like indie pattern companies that make paper patterns, but the other downside with the indie pattern companies is that they're kind of expensive. A lot of them are $14 to $18, even for some of the PDFs. There are sales on them, but I do think that is pricey, especially compared to all those sales that you can get for McCall's and Simplicity patterns for $1.99. But the trade-off with the big four is that you don't get that level of instruction. You know, they don't come with color photographs, so you're kind of more on your own with the big four patterns, with commercial patterns, but you do get a lot more support. And actually, I've gotten really good customer service with the indie pattern companies. If I have a question, I can, you know, tag them on social media, tag the company, and often they'll respond and they'll have some good insight. So I've had a really good experience with companies like Sew House 7. I had some trouble with the tea house dress with the facing, and they really sent me a very detailed message on what I should do. So I thought that was very cool. Got a couple more comments. Okay, we've got Jennifer recommends Hey June Handmade. Oh, that's cool. And you know what, guys, if you want to link to them as well. I really don't care. In this case, I really don't find that to be spammy at all, so feel free to link away to any patterns you really like, because that's what we're here for, is to share our favorites. I've linked to a lot of the ones that I've heard about in the description box. I think Tilly and the Buttons is a great indie pattern company, because for me, the fit is very much spot on to my body type, and I think the instructions for the patterns are excellent. Another one, now two I haven't tried. I have not tried SEAMWORK patterns from SEAMWORK magazine. I know a lot of other people have. I'm personally not that down with the monthly subscription. That's why I don't even know if I would get a Craftsy subscription, just because I don't want any more monthly things I'm paying for. But I've heard a lot of people talk about the SEAMWORK patterns. Closet case patterns is another one I have not tried, but I know like everybody else has, like the ginger jeans. And I forgot do they do the Watson bra? That's another one I've seen everywhere that I have not tried. There are so many patterns that I haven't tried that I feel like everyone else has. All right, we've got Champagne Twist says the sorbetto is great for newbies. Jennifer, yeah, she likes Hey June. Champagne Twist says, I like the indie companies that have accompanying blogs for each of their patterns. Exactly, because that's offering you a level of instruction that you don't get from the $1.99 patterns or whatever. Patterns can be pricey, but PDFs can be reprinted as many times as you like, and that is good. It's also good if they offer the print shop version, so if you want to get it printed off, you can, and you don't have to like get everything, you don't have to run like 1,000 sheets through your printer. Sherry says she likes Vogue Sewing as a great reference. Sewing Daddy is here. Hello, Sewing Daddy. We've got a gentleman in the house. I find the PDF files is an issue too. I don't even have a printer at home anymore. And you know, we're doing everything electronically, and that is an interesting thing to point out. We got Penguin and Pear here. Cashmerette is good for plus size. I like the name of that company, Cashmerette. That sounds very, very sleek here. And let's see here. Hello from Germany. Hi, Anne. And we've got, yeah, Sherry says she does adjustments no matter what the pattern. We've got Elsa and Stephanie. So we've got some people that like PDFs. And again, some people don't mind. I personally find them kind of tedious, but I know everyone has different things that they like. So I'm not going to, you know, no worries. There's no love lost here because, you know, we can like them, we can not like them. And that's what I wanted to know, was just what you prefer. And if there's any pattern companies that I have not listed in the description box that you want to share, feel free to share. Yeah, so the Watson bra is from Cloth Habit. Oh, and I forgot to add them. So Cloth Habit is definitely another pattern company. I have heard of them before, but again, it's one of those ones that I just haven't tried before. And Sewing Daddy, yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people don't really, like, it's weird, like, you don't use, you know what the worst is? When you have to fax something, and it's like, who has a fax machine? Like, and then you don't really want to do it at the office because, you know, I don't know, I don't like to fax personal documents from work. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I actually had to fax some documents a couple weeks ago, and I went to the grocery store, and then I went to the office supply store and had the fax service. They charged like $1 a page. It's insane. Like the amount they charge to fax something is crazy. But like, who has a fax machine in their house anymore? I don't know. We've got Jennifer. She also likes Sew Over It. Oh yes, and I have never actually tried Sew Over It either. So there's a lot of the ones I have tried. I've tried Tilly and the Buttons. Great. I've tried GRAINLINE Studio, Sew House 7. I've tried EVIE LUVE. She makes lingerie. I have tried Sew Sweetness. I put a couple bag patterns in there. I've tried Sew Sweetness, Swoon, and Noodlehead. Fresh Stitch Patterns is actually this very small pattern designer that I discovered that she makes baby and kids clothes, but she was having a sale and they were like $1 each. Great patterns, and I thought they turned out really cute. So if you're looking for baby and kid gifts like dresses, rompers, leggings, and, you know, little pants and stuff, I would definitely recommend Fresh Stitch Patterns. Oh, and there's another one called Made by Ray, and she does women's, you know, I keep thinking of more that I didn't include, so you know what, I knew I was gonna forget some, so it is what it is. And we've got By Hand London. Oh yes, that's another one. And you know what, I knew I was gonna forget some, but thank you guys, because I'm gonna put these all in the comments. So there's so many indie pattern companies that are popping up. I mean, it's good because at least we have a lot to choose from, but it's also kind of overwhelming because you have so much to choose from. And Beth says she's trying the sewing workshop, but printing more than 25 pages, yikes, yeah. And then you're like, wow, that's a lot. But I don't know if you guys have heard this, but UPCRAFT Club, Elizabeth from UPCRAFT Club is developing this like little projector thing called Kite, and it's supposed to be a system where you can project the images onto the fabric directly, and it's supposed to eliminate the patterns altogether, which I have not seen this thing in action, but if that actually works, I think that would be awesome. I know one question would be though, how would you be able to make pattern adjustments? And I think that's a really valid question because obviously most patterns don't fit you right out of the envelope. So that might be a little bit tricky, but I guess that could get you to the starting point where you could at least maybe trace it onto your muslin and then make adjustments there. But I think that kind of innovation is really needed in this space just because we spend so much time tracing and cutting out patterns and then adjusting for the fit. The amount of time we do it, that even before getting to the sewing, is just crazy. All right, we've got Jennifer. There's a company called Paper Cut Patterns that I just discovered. Never got to try it, but the clothing is beautiful but expensive. And we've got So Easy. She's got a free pattern for a PDF for an easy tunic. Oh, and Claire from Penguin and Pear says in the UK, netprinter.co.uk will print any size for 75p. I've just ordered 5 patterns. Hey, that's really cool. That's a good resource for any of you PDF lovers who wants to maybe get something printed at a low cost. And yes, again, Sewing Daddy, if you're still here, thank you for joining us as the sole gentleman today. I've noticed you've recently started a channel, so I think that's really cool to see more guys getting into the mix. I think that's really awesome. I think we need more men and more people of different walks of life to try sewing. I think that's really cool. So I'd just like to say welcome. And if you guys are here right now, feel free to give this live stream a thumbs up if you're enjoying the conversation. And feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your favorite indie pattern companies are, if there's any specific patterns you like, and also, what do you think is good and bad about the indie pattern companies? Are there any downsides? Is there anything you actually prefer about commercial patterns from the Big Four? What are your thoughts on this? I think the upside about the commercial patterns for me is definitely the price, and the fact that they're printed so I don't have to like tape anything together. And actually, because they're so cheap, like I recently got some patterns for $1.99, you can really get multiple copies and then you don't really need to worry, like, I'm just going to cut it out anyways, and if I need another one, I've got another one. So I actually have ordered multiple copies of the same pattern that I thought I might cut out more than once. Just so that, because for $1.99 that's so cheap, you can really just get a few of them, and then you don't really have to think too much about tracing it onto something. You can just cut it out, work with it, and then if you need to cut out another view or something, and you know those pieces where, like if it's pants into shorts and you cut out the shorts, then you don't have the pant legs, at least then you've got another copy to work with. So I've got a few McCall's patterns that I'm getting to. Sewing Daddy, thanks you. I really enjoy the hobby. And Sewing Daddy, what do you sew? As a guy, do you feel like your pattern options are more limited, especially for men's clothing? I'm just curious to see what guys are interested in sewing. So feel free to share. And yes, there's definitely a bit of a gender disparity in here, but you know what? This has been a lot of fun. Oh, and the next video Thursday's video is featuring a gentleman that's been in the live stream before, Keaton Quilts. So look for that. We did kind of an interview with him about quilting, so I think it turned out really fun. So stay tuned for that. All right, we've got, yeah, and Debbie also wants to know what Sewing Daddy likes to sew. Emily at Naptime Creations has a number of free sewing patterns and is easy to talk to with questions. That sounds like a cool name, Naptime Creations. Who wouldn't want? I need some more. I need to do some more napping. What is? I don't know. I don't get to do that a whole lot. That sounds pretty cool though. All right. So it does look like she's got some stuff on Craftsy. Oh, that's cool. A designer of free and for. Wow, she really did. Okay, so Naptime Creations. All right, she's got. I'll link to the Craftsy page. She's got a lot of free patterns there that you can get. Champagne Twist, there are a couple of indie companies that are turning more commercial in a negative way. Other than that, I like to support indie pattern companies where possible. Champagne Twist, that's interesting. What do you mean by turning more commercial in a negative way? Like, are they doing anything specific that you don't like? I'm just curious to know what, what you see as a negative. Penguin and Pear, indie patterns look great, but sizing is quite restrictive and they are expensive. I don't think the Big Four always look very contemporary, but they are cheap and lots of ease, so I use them for this. Yeah, and that is a good thing, is that they are they're very cheap. The only downside I really see is the lack of instruction. Now, here's the thing. If the Big Four, if you're listening, if you started blogging more and doing sew-alongs and maybe offering more instruction, like maybe on a blog, step-by-step photos, that sort of thing, I think that would help a lot of people, because even the pattern, like I was reading the instructions for the pattern I'm working on now, the M7601, and I feel kind of lost, and it's a relatively simple pattern, and I feel like sometimes the Big Four are mocking me, like it'll say, very easy Vogue, and I'm like, very easy, like this, like very easy for the pattern would be like medium to difficult for me, so I don't always agree with their categorization on the level of easiness or level of expertise, because I feel kind of stupid when it says very easy pattern and I'm like scratching my head like I don't even know what the heck this is talking about. So I was reading the instructions for this pattern last night, and some of the parts I'm like, what does this even mean? I have no idea. and then you just feel frustrated and you kind of want to give up. So, I don't know, sometimes it can be a little discouraging working with those big pattern companies. I've got Kristen. LaKayla is interesting. Okay, yes, and that's actually, because I was hearing of LaKayla, like it seems like they make custom patterns for you. If anyone has experience with LaKayla, let me, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, probably not. But if you have had an experience with them, let me know, because I'm curious to see what kind, you know, how it is. They're an online-only company that will allow you to customize the pattern before you order. You can request the PDF in any format, depending on how you want to print. Lisa says, to cut the shipping costs for indie, there is a company in the US called INDIESEW that offers a lot of indie patterns. And Lisa, I have linked INDIESEW. I know they offer, I think, mostly if not all PDF patterns. But I have noticed INDIESEW will sell collections. So they'll do like a summer collection with several patterns and they'll give you a discount. And both INDIESEW and UPCRAFT Club often offer discounts or sales, which I think is great. Champagne Twist, recently a couple of indies seem to neglect good customer service and forming long-term customer relationships. That is very important, and that's one of the reasons I do go to indie pattern companies, is for better customer service. So if you're not getting it, you're probably not going to go back there. Sewing Daddy, oh, this is adorable. I do a lot of dresses for my daughter. Men's garments are difficult for me to do, but I have made a vest once. I also make things for around the house and things like bandanas for my dog. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, dresses for your daughters. That is so, you know, they're going to grow up and remember that and just have great memories about how amazing their dad was and how much you did for them and how much, you know, you really took the time to make them special things. That is so wonderful. And I'm so glad you're here. All right, Champagne Twist says she likes LaKayla. Pauline, Alice, and Cloth Kits are also pretty good. So yeah, this conversation is great, and Champagne Twist is a great topic. And again, if you have a topic that you'd like to bring up in future shows, let me know, because I think we should definitely do that. I would definitely love to do more viewer recommended topics. So let me know if there's something that you would like to see featured as a discussion. You know, we can spend a whole hour and just chat about it, and you know, even if it's just something you're curious about, you know, I bet a lot of other people are too. So you know what? Why not? Let's go for it, because you know, I'm just here. I mean, obviously I'm just doing this show from my bedroom, so it's really not hard for me to just go with the topic you guys want to talk about. So not a problem here. We got Sequoia, Luigi. I finally made it. Hello, everybody. And yeah, this is a good group today. And does anyone in here sew bags? That's actually one of the things I was doing before close. But the SWOON patterns, Sew Sweetness, and Noodlehead are amazing. They're all great. I really love all of those pattern indie designers, and they do really cool stuff. Lots of, you know, really modern looking bags and accessories, and I think they're all very cool. SWOON Sewing, what I really like about that designer is that she charges like $5.95 a pattern, which I think is very, very cool and very reasonable. And also, if you're in her Facebook group, you get a group discount. So I forgot what the discount is. I want to say it's like 20 or 30%. But if you join her Facebook group, you get that discount in anything you order, which is awesome. So in Sew Sweetness, that's linked below, she started to make videos, doing step-by-step videos that you do have to pay for some of them, but she does have a free one that I linked last week about sewing a hobo bag out of faux leather, and that was a free pattern. So all of these people below have for some sort of free patterns for you to try out, just to see if you like them or not, which I think is great. All right, we got... All right, Penguin and Pear, I'd be interested in hearing you talk about creating, developing, and managing a sewing YouTube channel. So much to talk about with that. That could definitely be an interesting topic. You know, we could talk about blogging, and we could talk about vlogging, that sort of thing. Fanny would love to sew a handbag, and we've got Stephanie. She likes SWOON patterns, and I've made a few from Crafty Gemini here on YouTube. Stephanie, that's awesome. And, oh, Lisa J, I recently made the Taylor Desmond roll top back top. I have heard of him before and his blog, and actually Sewing Daddy, you might like this guy, Taylor. He sews a lot of men's clothes, and I think it's really great to see that there are men's options out there. Oh, and there was another one. Somebody recommended a men's pattern company. I want to say it was called like Theory or something. Let me see if I can find it. And they had some kind of more modern-ish clothing patterns for men and like things like boxer shorts and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm remembering this right. I want to say, was it Thread Theory? Okay, yes, it was, I think it's called Thread Theory, and I will, yes, I think this is it. So it's called Thread Theory, and they have stuff for guys. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, wait, or is this just... Okay, yeah, so they have, it looks like they sell vintage patterns for men, and then they've got their own patterns, and they do, yeah, so their own patterns, okay, it's a little, let me try, okay, so the thread, okay, so they sell a lot of other brand makers too, like the vintage ones, but some of their patterns look pretty neat, and they're very, like, utilitarian. So Sewing Daddy, you might enjoy this men's clothing pattern company. And they don't look too bad. Oh, also another one. This isn't really an indie pattern company, but I have made some patterns from Jaylee Patterns before, and I thought they were pretty okay. And they have step-by-step videos on their YouTube channel, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, and we've got Penguin and Pear. She says, I recently started making a pair of Thread Theory trousers, and the instructions are a challenge. They have sew-along, so... And that's the thing, if the company has like a sew-along or some videos, I feel a lot better about making it. But when, like, that's the thing with the big four, the instructions are just not very clear, and they're not very thorough. And I don't know, I struggle with that. And I'm not super new to sewing. But for me, it just feels really frustrating to get to the point and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. And then you just want to like throw it across the room. And you're like, oh, screw this. And then you just, if you're like me, you just start another project and never finish the one you were working on. So like me and Vogue 8772, which I still have not finished because I was so frustrated by the sleeves. I do want to cut another one out though, which I shouldn't do. But, yeah, sometimes it can just be very frustrating. So there's that. Oh, and I want to announce that there is a winner. I did a giveaway on Instagram, and I had a bunch of goodies that I was going to give away, like fabric patterns, some little notions. And the winner, I announced the winner on Instagram, and actually I already have the package ready to mail to her. And after this show, I'm going to go to the post office and drop it off. The winner is at frog.britches.quilts. I believe that was her username. Let me just look that up to make sure. Frog.britches.quilts. But she has won. So Jessica from Frog Britches Quilts has won the giveaway on Instagram. And thank you if you did enter on Instagram. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you had fun with this. I do in the future want to do more giveaways and do some more fun stuff like this. So hopefully that can happen. But yeah, so she is the winner of all the goodies. I was like, I think that's a really cute Instagram name. It was at frog.britches.quilts. I was like, that's really cool. So I thought that was kind of awesome. And she does some like custom, I think she does some like custom quilts, or she does quilts for customers. So I think that's very cool. We've got another comment from Sequoia. My current project is a self-drafted shirt. I feel weird about using patterns because I don't know how well they fit me. And Sequoia, I'm not as ambitious as you. I usually just go for the commercial patterns and hope they fit. I'm a little bit lazy, so I like to use pattern companies that are more made for my body shape. Like the GRAINLINE Studios work really well for me. Also the Tilly and the Buttons patterns work really great for me. And I've been finding that actually for the big four, the McCall's patterns fit me pretty well, spot on. So the Simplicity, not so much, but the GRAINLINE Studio is awesome. McCall. Soho 7, I had okay luck with the fit, although the patterns I made from them aren't super fitted, so that might be a good thing. So it was a little more forgiving for the fit. I have a SEWAHOLIC pattern, but I haven't tried it. And there's a lot of them I've heard, and I want to try someday the Closet Case Ginger Jeans. I've heard a lot of good things about that pattern, and they seem to have a lot of online support. Like a lot of bloggers have talked about their fit issues, and there's a sew along. So I think if I did a pattern like that and making jeans, I think there's enough support out there that I could figure it out, hopefully. But I think when you're a new seamstress and there's not a lot of resources for the pattern, that's when things kind of go downhill and you just get really frustrated. All right, we've got, all right, Fanny, I was wondering the same thing. It's cute. Oh, did you make the tee you have on? Yes, I did. This is the GRAINLINE Studio Linden sweatshirt, and this is the view. They have two different views. They've got one with long sleeves and a band at the wrist and at the waistband. I made the version that is just hemmed, and it also has like a shorter sleeve. And the fabric is Boardwalk Delight Fabrics by Art Gallery, and it's a jersey knit, really comfortable fabric, and I really love this. I love this just knit. Like, it's so cozy, and the pattern is super cute. The only thing Art Gallery Fabrics that I wish had done, there is a print in this pattern collection that has ice cream cones on it. It's mint. It's got like a mint green aqua background and ice cream cones. I made a skirt out of it. I really wish they'd made that print in the knit, because that would have been amazing. They only had the knits in like 3 different prints, but I really, really wish they'd made the ice cream cones. That would have been bonkers, but they didn't. So I got this print that has like it's like a chalkboard with flavors on it, and this, I think this is supposed to be reminiscent of like tiles in an ice cream parlor, you know, like tile walls or something. But that ice cream print they make is just amazing, and I would have loved to have a knit fabric that was that ice cream print. I would have bought it all, which is a little scary to think about. Got, all right, Shinova wants to know if there are any easy beginning cosplay patterns. I'm a quilter and bag maker. Clothes making freaks me out other than leggings. And Shinova, it can be a little intimidating. What I would recommend though is don't start out with cosplay. I would start out with something really easy, like this sweatshirt or GRAINLINE Studio Scout Tee or the Colette Patterns Free Sorbetto Tank. I would not start out with a full-out costume, because it's going to get really, I think you're going to be in over your head. So if you are new to clothing, go with something really easy. The tank is good because you don't have to set in the sleeves. So maybe the Colette Patterns, maybe the Sorbetto tank would be, and I'll link it here. I think the Sorbetto might be a good one for you to start with, just so that you're not like, I don't want you to get to the point where it's too complicated and then you just give up, like me and so many other of my projects. But that would be a good place to start. And I'm glad I did, Shinova, because I'm terrible with pronunciations, and you know what I hate? Like, I'm not the best at it. I hate when people like correct you on stuff that doesn't matter. Like, you say the name of a city wrong or something, and then the person gets an attitude and it's like, well, actually it's pronounced this way. It's like, this is the first time I've ever hearing of this place. So can you cut me a break? And do you have to be so, like, such a jerk about it? Like, again, in the scheme of things, does it really matter if I'm saying this wrong? Not really. But people get all like upset over it, and I don't know. If someone pronounces something wrong and it's not gonna make a difference if I say anything, I usually just don't bother to correct them, because it's just not worth my time. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. We've got Debbie. Does anyone have the Lutterlow pattern system? I'm not familiar with that. Maybe I'll Google that. And we've got Vic. The first and only piece of clothing that I made was a shirt with skirts underneath, and it turned out all right. Well, that sounds cool. I haven't really heard the word skirt in quite a while. And we've got Stephanie. She has it, but she hasn't tried it. And we've got Jennifer. You bought the GRAINLINE Linden sweatshirt. Very cool. Yeah, it's such a great pattern, and it's very easy to make. And if you have a serger, it is a breeze. So if you have a serger, doing this sweatshirt or doing any sort of knits is going to be super easy for you. All right, we got Pigsty Atelier. She's here too. Awesome, awesome. And okay, we've got Kristen here. I have not heard of Lutterlow, or I need to look that up. So it's a pattern system? That sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm so not aware of some of these things, but oh, that's cool. Okay, so I'm looking at the website now. Oh, I'm trying to go to the website. Okay. Choosing to make your own, okay, fashion, okay, they have apparently they've got a video demonstration. I will say, the website does kind of look a little dated. Hopefully the information is really good. The website looks like a little 1995-ish, so I'm hoping, okay, and they have a system, so you can get like a, okay, it has 280 fashions and pattern designs, an instruction DVD, written instructions and sewing hints in English, a tool set, and a cardboard tailor's curve. Alright, it also, the kit I'm looking for, it's $150. It also includes acrylic curves and a special tape measure, a pen, 2 pins, and a roll of adhesive tape. Okay, yeah, so it looks like it kind of helps you draft your own, like, bodice sloper. So it's almost like that Susie Furrer bodice making class in Craftsy. Okay, oh my gosh, the dude, this is kind of hilarious. I need to link this. Okay, the dude showing you how to make the pattern, I don't know, he doesn't look like your typical seamstress. He looks like an accountant or something. I'm not trying to throw any shade, but like, I don't know if I believe this guy actually sews. I mean, he may, and I could be totally wrong, but I don't know, this guy, there's something very interesting about this video. Let me link it, because it's, okay. This is very interesting. Alright, and we've got, Vic, does anyone find that patterns at fabric stores can be awfully outdated and shapeless? I like buying locally, but sometimes they leave a lot to be desired. Pixie Atelier says, I have not sewn with any indie pattern companies. What is everyone's thought better than the big four? Got another comment from, again, I'm probably not pronouncing your names right, so if I'm not, okay, so Kirsten says he does sew. I met him a few years ago and he really does know his stuff. Wow, Kirsten, color me surprised. This guy, like, I don't know, like, I'm not listening with the sound on, but he just doesn't strike me as a, okay, so he's showing you how to make your own patterns. So yeah, I've not really heard of this company before. I will say again, the website is probably not the best layout, and the website looks like it's seriously straight out of the 90s. But if you have used this pattern making system before, yes, I would be curious to know what you thought of it. Wow. And it claims to come with like 280 patterns or something, so that's fashions and pattern designs. It comes with the DVD, so I guess it's showing you how to make your own patterns. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if you have the time to do it and you have the desire, I think that's awesome. I think the good thing about buying patterns though is that you can at least, if you find a pattern company that has a fit for you, at least you can kind of skip all that and get right to the sewing, which is what I personally like to do. Okay, and we've got, okay, Lisa, thank you. I might just be tired at this point. I don't know. I've been staying up till like 5 or 6 in the morning because I've been having trouble sleeping. So, yeah, I haven't been getting a whole lot of sleep lately. And I took a nap yesterday at like 3 p.m. So that's where I'm at. I'm just being honest here. Kirsten, they have patterns going back to post-World War II. I have some of them from the 50s. It's really cool. And Kirsten, do they still sell these patterns, like the post-World War II patterns? It does look like they sell a lot of different ones on the website. I'm just kind of confused, like, how does this system work? Like, it looks like he's showing you how to construct the bodice sloper just from, like, you know, using the rulers and stuff. But I'm just curious to know, like, what... Okay, and then you can also get some supplemental stuff. So I'm just kind of curious to see, like, what all this is. But this looks very interesting. And I will say their illustrations are pretty artistic. So they've got, like, these really cool color fashion design type things. So that's kind of neat. And the kit looks interesting. I don't know how much all this costs. But the website is definitely intriguing. Is this like where is this company based? It definitely seems like they're from Europe somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious. Lutterlow. I've never heard of this thing before, but you know, that's why we have these shows, so that I can learn about things that I've never heard of before today. All right, so Stephanie says they're from Germany. Okay, we've got, I'm interested in trying the cashmere patterns for curvy gals from Pigsty Atelier. Vic, what type of fabric do you guys buy for clothing like shirts? Vic tried liquid melatonin to help you sleep. I usually go with wine. Does that work? Wine? I don't know. You basically draft something using your measurements. Kirsten says, I think they occasionally have select reproductions. I got mine from an online auction site. And Pigsty Atelier says, I'm dying for some Linden tweeds. I have seen those. Those look amazing. I would be afraid to cut into those. I would probably just buy it and keep it around just because I would never have the right pattern for it. Wine is great. Try wine. I usually try cheap wine. Whatever's cheapest at the store, that's what I usually go with. And, but yeah, well, I appreciate you guys. I'm learning some stuff I did not know about. And, wow, this LUVE pattern thing, that, like, I'm kind of blown away. They do have almost 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm just, like, I'm fascinated just to see. Alright, after the show and after I go to the post office, I want to watch some videos with this dude and see what he's saying, because I'm just very, very curious. There's another channel I found recently that has some very interesting personalities. It's called Embroidery Library. And it features, like, a guy named Kenny and another lady, I forgot what her name is, like April or something. But I don't know, these people, like, their personalities, like the video style, like, I feel like they were produced in the 90s, but they were produced now. But this channel is kind of fascinating. Like, I don't know, I have a weird fascination with this channel, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to link it to you guys anyway, so you can check it out as well. Alright, we've got Holly Indigo Junction. I've been wanting to purchase from, but have not so far. Does anyone have feedback on from them? Yes, so if anyone has some experience with Indigo Junction, definitely help Holly out. I have not tried that company before. And we've got Debbie. If you're interested in the LUVE system on eBay, I'm sure you could buy the entire kits with all the rulers instructions for less than if you buy it online. Okay, so maybe eBay. I'll have to check that out. I'm not really in the market for that right now, just because I don't think I'm going to be honest, I don't think I have the time to dedicate to that sort of thing right now. But maybe in the future, that would be interesting. All right, I'm looking it up on eBay. Oh yes, there's a lot of, oh, this is cool. They've got one from, this is really neat. They've got some systems from like the 50s and the 60s on eBay, so that's kind of cool. Very neat. Wow, and it shows you how to make all this stuff. Oh my gosh, the photos of the, okay, sorry, I'm going down a bit of an internet rabbit hole, so I apologize, but that's the way my mind works, so we're gonna do that. But I don't know, I'm just talking at this point and I don't really know what I'm saying. I think I need some water real quick. But yeah, feel free to keep sharing your favorite indie padding companies. And yes, Pigsty Atelier. I am all about, if you follow me on Instagram and or Snapchat, I have definitely posted a lot about my love for boxed wine. I'm a big fan of the Boda Box wine. I'll put a link in there. The Boda Box Merlot is my favorite, and it's very budget friendly. It's very budget friendly, and also the boxes appear to be recycled cardboard, so maybe environmentally friendly. I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, so now, yeah, we started, I don't know how we got here, but we started out talking about indie pattern companies, and now we're talking about boxed wine. But you know, that's okay. That's okay. Here we go, Boda Box Merlot. Also, they have another wine called Nighthawk, which was very interesting. So yeah, if you have not tried the Boda Box Merlot, okay, you also have to be, before you get to the website, you have to acknowledge you're of legal drinking age, so be sure to do that. So I'll link to the Boda Box site. Yes, we're doing all kinds of sharing today. But the other one I like is the Nighthawk. Oh my gosh, they've got some new, oh my gosh, they've got some new, new wines. Wow. Okay, so they're apparently going to start offering dry rosé. very cool. And the Nighthawk Black, that one was actually just, the description alone made me want to try it. It is rich aromas of raspberry, blackberry, caramel, and hints of vanilla with lush flavors of deep berry, fig jam, dark chocolate, toasted marshmallow, and baking spice. This smooth, full-bodied wine culminates in a juicy, lingering finish. And in case you're wondering, no, I have not been drinking yet today. So I swear, no drinking yet. But maybe later, depending on if we have any wine left. I don't know. But I do need to try to go to bed a little earlier today, because I have to go back to work tomorrow. I know. But this has been a really nice, fun break, and I have gotten some sewing done, even if some parts have been a little frustrating. But you know, it is what it is. And the party's got to end at some point. So today is the last day of my personal sabbatical. All right, Vic, I'm at work now. Oh, on a Sunday. I'm sorry, Vic. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. And Sequoia says your internet is acting up, and I'll probably be signing off soon, just before I say anything really stupid. But I do like Penguin in Pairs. Debbie says, why are my last 2 comments not posted? So Debbie, the last comment I got from you was about the Lutterlow system on eBay. So yes, if you have posted, Vic, 11-hour shift. Are you in the medical? I'm gonna guess you might be in the medical field, maybe. Are you a nurse? It seems like nurses work a lot of 11 to 12-hour shifts, or like doctors. Paul is here. Hello. Home care. Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, so you're used to you're used to a lot of very long days. My client is sleeping. Oh, well, I guess that's good. I guess at least somebody's having a nap. Sequoia says I work from home too. Lol. And but yeah, thank you guys so much. And next week, what do you guys think of Penguin and Paris suggesting about talking about like starting a YouTube channel or trying to manage one? I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but if you are, or I can answer questions about doing YouTube and blogging. I don't know if I would consider myself an expert. I have been doing it for about 1.5 years. But if that would be our sewing daddy's still here. All right. Sewing Daddy, I know you were looking up that Lutterlow system on eBay, right? No, I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, so I mean, if you guys have any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer what I do know. And also, I have, and I can share a couple resources next week. And I'll link to this. I did do a blog post a while ago, so the live stream will probably be more stemming off of my blog post. I did a blog post about going from blogging to vlogging. And I can definitely talk about what I've learned and like how I've transitioned into that. But in the meantime, I will link to the blog post. And I actually did put a lot of resources that I have gotten. There are actually several YouTube channels that I follow about YouTubing that have been really helpful. And I've learned a lot about how to YouTube and how to really... you know, because I have a television background, but making online videos is a lot different. Your audience is much different, and your strategy needs to be different, and the way you produce the videos also needs to be different. Also, TV and blogging is so, like, doing videos versus blogging with, you know, with a written blog post and pictures is so much different as well from video. So I can talk a little bit about the differences between that. I don't know, maybe a little producing class. So maybe we can do that next week. I think that would be kind of, I don't know, if you want to do that next week, let me know. If you don't want to do that next week and you want to do another topic, also let me know. But if I do get a lot of yeses, we can definitely do that next week and talk about YouTubing. I love the shirt you're wearing. Thank you very much. Boardwalk Delight by Art Gallery Fabrics. And also, if you have any questions for me, you can ask me. We can also have it sort of be an ask me anything type of thing. So if you want to ask me anything about whatever, you can do that as well. Paula recommends Pamela's Patterns, good t-shirts and shapewear patterns. Palmer Pletch fitting system, one of the best. Website, Fabric Mart, and YouTube channel. Well, thank you very much, Paula. So yeah, so if next week, and Jennifer says love urban threads. Okay, for embroidery, correct? So yeah, lots of good, this has been a great conversation and we've learned quite a bit this week. So next week, if everyone's on board with that, we can talk about YouTubing. But in the meantime, I have linked to my blog post if you want to. I talk a lot about that, and also I link to a lot of really good YouTube channels that will help you if you are interested in doing YouTube. So I hope everybody has a great week. I'm going to go to the post office soon and hopefully do a little sewing without tearing my hair up. And maybe the evening will involve wine. We will have to see where it goes. Vic, are the live chats always at this exact time every Sunday? Typically, yes. Occasionally, like if I have to work on a Sunday or something, I might move the time around. And if I'm not, for some reason I can't be here, I will put a video in place of a live stream. But it's a similar video where I'll open up a topic for discussion, talk about what I think, but it's more a place where we can get together and share our thoughts. So, but typically, yeah, every Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes it starts a little late, like in case my cat goes off the rails. But typically, yes. So I'm gonna put all these comments in the first comment of the actual video, so anyone watching here, you can actually see all the comments. So I'll see everybody next week, and have a good one. Bye bye.